Good evening, everyone, and you're welcome to another interesting and informative edition of our Europe and UK Scholarship Series. And if you're just joining us for the first time, this series is part of our AgriScholars Mentoring Hub, which is designed to equip students and professionals with the knowledge, strategy, and confidence to secure global scholarship. I'm Omobolale Kalinikoshi, your host for today's session, and I'm excited to have you join us for this special session, which is featuring the ETH Zurich Scholarship. Sorry. This is part of our scholars mentoring hub, which is designed to equip students. I'm trying to. I think I joined on my LinkedIn.
Okay.
So yeah, I just need to mute that right now. I'm so sorry for the interruption. So once again, you are welcome to another interesting edition of the scholarship series. And if you are joining us, please kindly tell us your name, the country you are joining from in the comment section. We'd like to welcome you on board. And again, my people, if you have a friend, is aspiring scholars that need to be part of this discussion, I would like you to quickly send a message to them. I want you to also share and repost our event page so that you can remind them that this program is live, is ongoing, and they need to be part of this section. Yes. So please and please, we want to have every one of you join us for this informative session of the Europe and the UK Scholarship Series. And as part of this program, I would also like to acknowledge the presence of God by having a short opening prayer. Our Father and our God, we thank you this evening. Thank you for the grace. Thank you for the strength to witness another series of this scholarship edition. Father, may your name be praised in Jesus' name. Father, we commit the speaker and every of our audience that will be part of this session, that the grace, the strength, and everything that the speaker needs to disseminate the right information, the wisdom you grant unto him in the name of Jesus. And for every audience that will be part of this session, that they will lean on this wisdom, on this insights that will be shared on this platform today, and take advantage of it to navigate their scholarship application in the name of Jesus. And the favor of God will speak for them, and at the end, they will rejoice and testify to the goodness of God upon their application. For in Jesus' mighty name we've prayed. Amen. All right. So, um, once again, thank you so much for joining us for this session. I can see Tony from Uganda. Thank you so much for joining us. Ogechi is joining us from Nigeria. She's on YouTube. Thank you so much. I'm having Ampara Alberta is joining us from Ghana. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, I have Longmom Dampo David from Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us. I have Obongwe Obiechina Emmanuel from Zimbabwe. Thank you so much, every one of you, for joining us on this interesting edition of our scholarship series. And going forward, I want you to understand that tonight's session isn't just about how to apply, it's about how to stand out in your application. So, we have a guest speaker who will be sharing practical steps, lessons learned, and everything you need to know to confidently submit a winning ETH Zurich scholarship application. And on that note, I would like you to welcome our speaker for today's session, who is in person of Maxwell Nsoh, an ETH Zurich Excellence Scholar, who is also a researcher and advocate for academic excellence and global development. So we're looking at Maxwell's story, which I believe is going to be sharing soon. It actually embodies that of resilience and purpose. It proves that with the right preparation in place, you can turn that your academic dream into global impact. So thank you once again, Maxwell, for joining us to share your insights on ETH Zurich Scholarship. So yeah, I can see a lot of people joining in. Thank you. You're welcome. Komugi Sarah Pitansi from Tanzania. Thank you so much. I can see Peculiar from Nigeria. I can see Muidin from Nigeria. Thank you, every one of us, for joining us on this informative session. If you are joining in, please do us a favor, kindly repost from the event page. Invite your friends that need to be part of this session, because I promise you it's going to be a value loaded one. Okay, so straight into the session for tonight. I know many people are so enthusiastic about the ETH Zurich scholarship, because when we look at it, it's not something that most people are aware about, even though it's a very global and competitive scholarship out there. And I'm glad to have someone like Maxwell walk us through the journey of ETH Zurich scholarship. So, Maxwell, one of the questions I just like to ask my speakers is that, when you think of it, like in terms of your personal story, how did you actually come about ETH Zurich scholarship? It's not something that is popular. Like, I'm just getting to know about the scholarship this year. That's just the fact of it. Despite the fact that I've been applying about for so many scholarships. So this year was the first time I'm getting to know that we have something like this in ETH. So can you please, how did you come about it, and what actually inspired you? Because when you look at ETH, it's one of the biggest, or how do I call it, university out there. And how do you feel like, okay, this is the place for me and I need to go all out there for this application? Yeah, so that's my first question for you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Blessing. It is a real pleasure to join and also share my experience with colleagues and friends who also want to get the opportunity to study outside under scholarship. You know, if you are from Africa by default, it is very difficult to study outside without scholarship, especially most of our currencies value nothing. So it only takes scholarship to be able to study. Now we are in this together, like you mentioned. I too, I didn't know about ETH Excellence Scholarship. I had applied to close to 9 different schools, different scholarship. ETH Excellence Scholarship was in part. I was fortunate to have a friend from Access University. Those who are from Ghana, maybe you know Access University, Eunice. See, there is this exchange between Access University and that of ETH Zurich, and they shared that they mostly invite students to come and do exchange here and go back. So she heard of the opportunity and she shared it with me. So when you invited me for this, that was what triggered me. But for her, I wouldn't have even heard of it, talk less of applying. So it is the motivation, how I became aware of it, that is driving me to come also share with those who have joined, so that next year by September, I will be very happy to welcome some of you to the best university in continental Europe. Yeah, so that's how I get to hear about it.
All right, thank you so much. So, like you can see now, this is just a word of mouth from somebody, because it's not something big that people actually post or you see. Many of us know about MasterCard, we know about Erasmus, we know about Commonwealth and Chevening, the big scholarship out there. But for this kind of scholarship, like to study in ETH, maybe you don't know ETH Zurich. Maybe I should try to explain what this prestigious university is about. It's one of the top universities in the world, like even out within and outside Europe. So, and when it was like, for me to even get him to like someone that would speak, I had to do a lot of search. I had to go on the website for me to say, like, there must be an African person that is a recipient of this scholarship. And to be honest, he's the only person I could find on ETH Zurich. And I'm so happy that you could get such information and take advantage of it and put in the efforts to actually get the scholarship. I'm so proud of you, and well done for making us like represent the Africans in ETH Zurich. Thank you so much, and it's good to know that you were talking about apply for previous scholarships, like 9 scholarship thereabout. Because I just want to share, I want you to also share more light about that. Is it that you've also faced rejections along your scholarship journey, and how did you handle it? I know this is not part of it, but then it's something that I think it would also be useful for our audience out there.
Yes. So I actually applied to eight. I got two straight rejections without even admissions. I got four admissions without funding. Then I got two admissions with full funding. One as well was now to choose between ETH Zurich and University of Alberta, and I decided to choose ETH. So what that means is that if you apply to two, three schools and you get rejected, and or you get admission without funding and you want to give up, I don't think you are ready for this journey. Almost everyone who have gotten the opportunity to study under scholarship have faced at least one or two rejections. So it is part of the game, and I want to encourage you to prepare for it. And the more rejections you get, um, the more complete your next application will be. So, yeah, I actually got
Thank you.
rejected. Yeah.
Thank you so much for putting that into perspective for our audience, because most people tend to see rejections as failure rather than being part of the process, because that's how you learn and that's how you improve on your subsequent application. So, to our audience there, if you are facing rejection, it's just to let you know that you are very closer than you think to your scholarship. For someone like me, I applied for over 20 scholarships before I could get my own scholarship to study at the Wageningen University in the Netherlands. So it's very important to let you know that rejection is part of the scholarship process. And the fact that you got one, two, or three is not enough for you to give up. Be encouraged. And that's why, as part of this series, you are trying to bring previous awardees to come and share their stories. Let us learn from them how they were able to navigate the scholarship application. All right, so going forward to the next question, which is the application process for the ETH Zurich. I want you to just walk us through the process, because for some of us that we are not even aware that there is a scholarship like this, navigating the application process can even seem like maybe climbing one of the Swiss mountains over there. So I just
Yeah.
want us to, I want you to walk us through the application journey, right from the eligibility, maybe the essays and recommendation. I don't know how it works over there. Maybe people need to apply for admission first. Then when you gain the admission, then maybe you are nominated for the scholarship. You need to apply for the scholarship. I don't know. So maybe you just want to walk us through that application process.
Good. So, first, let me explain to our audience what the Excellence Scholarship is and what it is not.
I don't know how it works over there. Maybe.
Then I will proceed to talk about the requirements and the application process and what I think will work out if you decide to do it that way. Now, the Excellence Scholarship is a merit based scholarship. What that means is that they don't look at your family background in terms of whether you are from a poor family or they don't consider that. Merit based means they look at your academic performance and you are judged purely on your academic performance. Now, when we say excellence scholarship, we also have what we call the excellence scholarship of the Swiss government. Now, there are two different things. This particular scholarship that I'm under is actually called the Excellence Scholarship and Opportunity. So, ESOP. But we have an excellence scholarship that comes from the federal government of Switzerland. That scholarship you apply through your country's embassy. So if your country have a diplomatic relation with Switzerland like Ghana do, you apply for it, and it is only for postgraduate. So if you have masters, you apply and you become a postgraduate researcher, maybe a research assistant. If you also have masters and you want to apply for it to go and do PhD, then you need to get a supervisor. And yeah, it's quite a good scholarship. But you don't apply for that one to do masters. Now, the excellence scholarship offered by ETH is for masters. The requirements is such that one, you have to be among the top 10% of your class. Then there is also a part of the applications you need to write a pre-research proposal. This is just to demonstrate that you are ready to do research, because the master's is not a little bit different from bachelor's. It's more leaning towards research. So you'll be required to write a pre-research proposal. So apart from the pre-research proposal, any other requirement is the same for ordinary admission to any other university. Your transcript, your English proficiency, your letter of recommendations, your letter of motivation, or what we call statement of purpose, all those things. So what I said is that the excellence scholarship is not need based; it is merit based. So you must be, your academics should be competitive enough. This is not to scare you, but that is how it is. Now, how to apply for it? They mostly open the applications. It is already open now. First November to 31st November,
Yeah.
and you just have 1 month window to apply. Now, within this 1 month, you already know what ETH is. ETH is the number one university in continental Europe, and it is also one of the top, I mean, seven best in the world by this QS ranking. So it is a bit competitive. So when you are applying, it is advisable to not leave any room for mistakes.
Hmm.
And you can only do that if you start the application early and get the needed support. What I did, I almost reviewed my applications documents more than 10 times. I mean, I've a lot of mates, some of them now outside, some are still applying. I wrote my essays, I shared to more than 10 of them at the same time. Each of them review and gave me feedback, peer review. So you are able to kind of get feedback from everybody so that your essays can be concrete and can reflect, can be a bit competitive to pass through the sieving process, because it comes before I even knew this scholarship. I thought McBain scholarship, McBain scholarship at McGill University in Canada. I
Yeah.
thought that was the best scholarship on earth. I also applied for that one. I got rejected. And that is kind of the scholarship people call the most prestigious scholarship. But I'm happy to tell you that the ESOP scholarship pays more than all of those scholarships. And I haven't found any scholarship so far that actually pays you more than the ESOP scholarship.
Hmm.
And that is why it is competitive. And that is why I will encourage you to apply. But if you want to apply, do it on time. Leave no room for mistakes. And September 2026, I'll meet you at Zurich Airport and bring you to ETH. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. I think that was a very, very detailed one, like trying to even give us an overview of the ETH Zurich. I didn't even know there was a government one and there was a one from the university itself. So I think for our audience, you see that this is a two-in-one opportunity for you now
Yeah.
to actually put in for. And I think one from just to make emphasis on your point, like it's this scholarship is currently open and it's just for 1 month, so there is no time for you to sleep on it, and I intentionally brought him during this time, so it's going to be very handy for everyone that is applying for the opportunity, because you just only have 1 month to prepare all your documents and everything for the scholarship. And imagine he even sent out his applications to his friends, like peer colleagues, to review it. So that's just to tell you, because he made mention of something like ETH Zurich is not a need-based scholarship, it's based on merit, like excellence. So, and for you to even gain access, I normally I expect that for a university like ETH Zurich. to also give preference to their candidates in terms of excellence. But then I think you want to give us a bit of breakdown as regards the, I don't know if it's required, maybe the personal statements or the CVs or
Mhm.
recommendation. How, what exactly is the scholarship committee looking for in this document?
Good. So all the documents you submit during your applications are equally important, particularly for admission. Because before you can get a scholarship, you must get admission. That is not the same as before you can apply for a scholarship, you must apply for admission or you must get admission before. No. But the decision to award you the scholarship will mean that you have already gotten admission. So the first document is your CV. ETH have a recommended format. Mostly they do it in the tabular format. So you have a table, maybe 3 columns. Then maybe you have a position, let's say your work experience. You have a position where you mention the position and the name of the place you did it. Then you have a place for description, you describe what were your roles. Then you have another column where you write the date or the duration, just something like that. I mean, it's flexible. You can make it 4 column depending on the format you want to adopt. But what is important is that you read the requirements and make sure you adapt your documents to what they want you to do. The CV is important, but it is only important for admission, not really the scholarship. Now, another thing is your letter of motivation. Every student for admission writes letter of motivation. What sometimes we fall into is regurgitating your CV as letter of motivation or statement of purpose. Someone reads your statement of purpose and proceed to review your CV, and the person is not able to tell the difference. You know, you submit the 2 documents. So the person first starts reading your CV. Oh, you worked at here, you worked at here, you received this award, you received this award in your CV. Then you put that document aside, open your letter of motivation, then you begin to say things about your CV again. That is a red flag. So you must know what motivates you is different from your CV.
Mm,
Good. So apart from the letter of motivation, the CV, the next important document is your letter of recommendation. They really trust, because especially if you are from Africa or any other country, they don't know you. So you must get good recommendations. Good recommendations. I got recommendations from 2 professors, one who was the former dean of my school, and the other was the dean of the school at the time. So the reputation of those recommending you is also important. So the one who recommend you, if they search online and they go and read the profile of the person, they can attest to his integrity that, okay, this recommendation is valid.
mm, mm,
Now, if you ask anyone about a Swiss person, they will tell you that they don't joke with their time. Even trains don't come late. If a train is going to be late for 3 minutes, you get an SMS message from your phone that because of ABCD, we apologize, we will be 3 minutes late. So there shouldn't be any excuse to submit your application a second after the deadline. The deadline is 30th November, 12 o'clock noon, not in the evening. So 11:59 a.m., you must be able to submit your application. So what that also means is that you start contacting your professors to recommend you on time so that you don't give them the pressure of having to, and it's not like they'll write a recommendation letter and send it as a CV. They will send them a specific link and they will have to go to their portal and do some things.
mm,
So it's important you get your supervisors informed early. Now, the most important of all is pre-research proposal.
Mm.
The pre-research proposal is what determines whether you get the scholarship, apart from your academics. So when they take your transcript, they'll look at it. Then if you qualify, then they move to your pre-research proposal. And that is where they do the sieving. So they will do winnowing so that the seeds get there, then the shafts will move somewhere. So your pre-research proposal must be strong. It must be academic. So now there is this age of AI. I know that everyone is using it, including the professors. So when you use AI, I use AI. So if you use AI to write, when I start to read, I will know that you use AI. Because academic must be simple, clear, and straightforward.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
AI will want to make the thing look so serious with long sentence, try to use big words, So if you're writing your pre-research proposal, you must write it and write it well. And I encourage you to seek guidance from someone you think can help you write it, because you don't just put anything, especially if you know that you are more academically you are good. The only reason you can fail the scholarship is if your pre-research proposal is not good. Then I will advise you to really seek proper guidance so that you can be supported to put in a very strong research proposal.
Mm. 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 Yeah,
Now, yeah,
you can go
I-
ahead, please.
yeah, I think that is the third document and the last one. So the other one with the application is that you don't apply to them separately. So when you're applying for admission, you get to the last part of it, they will ask you, do you want to be considered for the excellence scholarship? It is a yes or no. If you tick yes, then the next question will come. Upload your pre-research proposal.
Mm.
So that's what I said. The only one that determines your scholarship is the pre-research proposal. If you
Mm.
apply for admission, all other documents you submit.
It's for
The
admission.
only additional document that you submit because of the scholarship is the pre-research proposal.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
All right, so that was a very, very interesting breakdown for the application process. Thank you so much for that. So just to give a bit of recap on that, so we have like for the scholarship now, I'm not talking of the admission, four main documents: your CV, your SOP, your recommendation letter, and the research proposal. And please bear in mind that the first three documents is mainly for the admission, because there is no separate application for the, I love the way they sort of structure it. So there's no separate application for the scholarship. It's like you are putting in for the admission and at the same time for the scholarship. But the main document that actually decide if you will be considered is the research proposal. And that sort of leads me to the next question. So if this document is the make or mark point for candidates, how can you advise applicants on how to structure their research proposal in terms of maybe aligning their research goals and academic interests to that of ETH Zurich vision or their program? So
Yeah.
what are those specific things they need to consider when trying to write the research proposal? How do we tailor it maybe to a specific problem related to sustainability or something like that? What do they need to actually address for the research proposal?
Good. So before I say that, let me quickly tell you how you probably will get selected as a scholar. When the admission team reviews your document and they will give you admission, they transfer your documents to your department.
Hmm.
Now, in that department, they have someone, a professor, who will now read through your uh, pre-research proposal and recommend some of the applicants from their department to the scholarship committee to consider them for the award. So in essence, You are really not competing with all the applicants, but you first you compete with your department, what the program you want to do. Then when they recommend, depending on the number of scholarships, if they recommend three people, they may give two or one person, something like that. In my department, we were two that were awarded during my time.
Hmm.
So you need to first know who is a professor in which department.
Hmm.
What do they do?
Hmm.
And I think that works for me. I first of all, I wanted to do agricultural economics. So I went online and searched the department. I look at the top professors when it comes to agricultural economics, what they do, their research interest. Then I try to put on a convincing proposal that aligns with what they do.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So, for instance, if I am interested in climate science and I am reviewing two proposals, one of the students say he want to come and do climate science something, someone want to do fisheries and aquaculture. I would definitely, if assuming all of them have the same quality, then I now have to decide. I would definitely go with the one that aligns with my interest.
Hmm.
I mean, that is not the general case, but I'm just suggesting to you that if you do that, you have a higher chance of getting accepted. So you get yourself familiar with what the department is into, because if the department focuses on consumer behavior and you are writing about government policies, I think automatically you are out. Two, people don't know that LinkedIn and social media works well, but it do. If you have done something before, put it on your social media
Hmm.
and follow these professors in the department that you want to do. Comment on their post.
Hmm. 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 Yeah.
So, for instance, if you want to go and do agricultural economics at ETH, if you just Google now agricultural economics at ETH professors, you see them, you follow them, comment on their posts. Sometimes they can even reply your post. They don't know that you are applying. And when they are reviewing your documents, they see your name, then they recall that you guys have been chatting on LinkedIn. It bridges that gap. And it's something that will really work out. So to put on a very compelling pre-research proposal, first, know what the department is, what the major faculty are into, and try to tailor your proposal in that direction. Don't contact anyone formally. ETH, don't do that. It is a red
Flag.
flag. Don't contact anyone about that. But I mean, everything about them is online. Now, the structure of your pre-research proposal. One good thing about ETH is that they have made everything open, clear, and simple. If you visit the scholarship page, they have explained and have even given templates of how you should structure it. I want to encourage you to follow that instruction to the letter and do it like that. And you should be able to convince them to accept you. Yes, so that is it with the research proposal.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That was loaded. That was
Yeah.
really, really loaded. And I think this is where the work comes in for most aspiring scholar in terms of being diligent with your research. You want to put into a very particular institution, go and look into the program, go into their website. Who is that faculty member that is doing something that aligns to your interests? Learn about it, link up with them on LinkedIn. When we talk about visibility for students, most people think like, okay, it's for maybe those that are doing brand influencers and everything. And I think maybe this is just to encourage students out there. When I saw him, his stuff on the actually, I came to know about Maxwell from the university website. That's just to tell you how open it is. Then I took his name, went to LinkedIn, searched for him, connected with him, and everything. So LinkedIn is that one professional platform that you can connect with everybody. You, like you said, you can start even chatting with those professors and everything, like just to get into them. Not like you need to tell them directly. He said that's a red flag. Just to just build that conversation build that familiarity, but not to just go and declare, oh, I'm interested in this. You need to be careful how you approach these people online. That's very, very important. So thank you so much. And I think this is also going to encourage our students there. Build your visibility out there and be very strategic with your application. This is when it talks about the research proposal, like you knowing the problem that they are trying to solve in that faculty, and try to relate it maybe to in the African context and everything, and build a proposal in that direction. And the interesting thing is that they have the template online on their website, and I can attest to you, I went through the website as if I'm the one that wanted to apply when I was preparing for this session, just to know a bit more about the process, and we can ask the guest speaker to walk us through the process. So please go to the university website, whatsoever program you're interested in, read more about the details and the faculty members, get a lot of information. You have someone like Maxwell to also ask questions from him on the application process in case you are lost anywhere. So thank you so much for that detailed insight about the application process, especially the research proposal. Then now I think we've been able to do a more of talking about the application. But maybe from your point of view, I don't know, maybe you had other people that have also tried to apply for the same scholarship and they were unable to get it. What will you consider like as mistakes that most people make, or mistakes to watch out for when applying for the ETH Zurich Excellence Scholarship? What are those things you need to be on the lookout for?
Yeah, so I about 3 people reached out to me on LinkedIn. Um, I don't know, I didn't get time, but somehow I attended to one. She's from Indonesia, and I mean her story appealed to me, so I kind of tried to help her and asked her to share with me her documents. And what I saw as a pre-research proposal, it was shocking. And if I were the reviewer, I would have thrown it away. It was kind of, she didn't actually understand what it is. So, like I said, all other documents you submit is for admission. What is for your scholarship is that particular document called pre-research proposal, because you're coming to do masters and it's about research. So they just want to know whether you have an idea what you are coming to do. Because mind you, when we say 10% on top of your class, is nothing. A lot of people have met that criteria. And it is competitive, right? So even if they bring it to 1%, you still have more people meeting that criteria and applying. So what will actually makes you stand out is beyond your grades. Are you able to convey clearly your thoughts in an academic manner?
Hmm.
And when we say academic, like I gave an example between AI and normal writing, you go straight, simple, so that even if you give it to someone in basic school to read, the person will understand what problem you are talking about, how, why you want to solve it, how you are going to do it. If the person reads your research proposal and don't understand what, that is the problem. What is the problem? Why the problem existed? Why do you want to solve it? How are you going to solve it?
Hmm.
Will it be solved within the time frame of your master's studies? That is also important.
Hmm.
Because if you propose a subject that is so large and broad, as if you are coming to do PhD, they will know that no, you don't understand what you are doing. Because it must be very how do you put it?
Achievable, maybe small
Achievable within the time frame.
time frame.
Yes, but if it is not achievable within the time frame, it also raises questions as to whether you really understand what you want to do. Yes, so I would say that make sure your pre-research proposal is good. Now, the second most important thing is your recommendation. Whatever you say in your let in your essays, your motivation, your letter of motivation, and that of your CV should be confirmed by your recommenders, right? If you write in your CV that in your letter of motivation that you are ABCD, your recommenders should somehow confirm that. That is where the trust comes in. So those of you who probably you have graduated for 2 years, you never spoke to your professor, you just called him to write a recommendation letter for you. Then, oh, okay, send me your CV. You must do it with the professor. So what I did is that I told my professor, they said I must be top 10% of my class. They said I must be this, this, this. I have written it in my letter of motivation that yes, I am ABCD. And I want you to confirm that in your recommendation. And it is not like a favor. In my case, I actually have substance to substantiate whatever I was saying. So the professor also write and confirm that. But if that is not the case, it brings uh, a lot of confusion. For instance, you write in your letter of motivation that during your studies at the University of Ghana, you were among the best students who were selected for ABCD. And in your two recommendations, none of them mentioned that in the University of Ghana, you were selected as the best student for anything. And you don't also have a certificate or supporting document to support that claim. Then they will assume that it is a lie. But if you state that and you have a letter evidence, and with the blessings of your recommenders, they also state that, in fact, this student, when he was here and I was supervising him on ABCD, he was able to do this. That is kind of a good news for you. So with your recommendation, work with the professors. Don't just call them and say, submit a recommendation for me. The professor don't have time to go and read the details of the scholarship to be able to tailor the recommendation letter to what you want. And mind you, I was a student assistant at the University of Ghana. And almost every day, one professor gets emails from students to write recommendations. Almost every day. And he have to lecture, he have projects running that he have to do, and he have other things. So the attempt to use a general format writing a recommendation is very high. It is not intentional, it's just not practical to write for everybody. And those of you who probably also serve as student assistants, you would attest to this. The professors can be very busy. So if you just call him and say, write a recommendation letter, and he says, yes, he will do, he can use a general format. The only thing he will change is your name. And you can use what you want to use to apply to University of Saskatchewan, to apply to Alberta, or to apply to ETH. And there are incidents of that. That's, they read the recommendation letter, and all of a sudden, the name of the university was wrong
Wow.
because the professor was in a hurry. He finished, he couldn't read. And some of the universities, you are not allowed to see the recommendation letter, especially ETH. Like this, they will send the professor
The
a
link.
link to go and do, so you don't see what is submitted. So if you don't work with whosoever is recommending and just make a phone call and say, Prof, I want you to recommend me for this. I've submitted your email, and he get the email, he will just write anything for you. It's not intentional. Don't be like he's wicked. No, the professor's not wicked. You have to put up the extra work. Tell him that I know you haven't read about the scholarship, but the scholarship want ABCD. This is what I've written. This is what I think. If you confirm, it will help me. That is how you do it, so that you'll be able to tailor a good recommendation. So if your transcript is superb, you are able to have a good recommendation, and you are able to have this good pre-research proposal, then I can assure you that September 2026, you will be here and as an excellent scholar. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that. I think he was able to highlight the things you need to watch out for, like the red flags, especially with your recommendation letter. So please and please build a relationship with your referees and try to walk them through. Don't just tell them to do it, like do it together. If possible, you can draft something for them and they can be able to make life easier for everyone. So please and please, you need to get that right. Use the, I think he said, there's a CV template that the university provides. You want to use the template and make sure you abide with every instructions when putting in for the scholarship. And the most important thing I just want to add is timing is key. This is just a 1 month of application is opened now and it's going to close maybe in 2 weeks times or 2 week time or thereabout. So you need to watch out for the timing. So it's a very strict and a very competitive one. So you want to get everything ready and put in for the application on time. So yeah, that's a very good one. My next question is going to take me to something that you mentioned earlier on about the ETH Zurich scholarship, in terms of being one of the scholarship that provide a more funding than other scholarships. So I just want us to go into the benefits of being an ETH scholar anyway, and maybe starting from the financial benefits and what the scholarship actually covers. So you can tell us more about that.
Yeah, so this is public knowledge, especially for our audience. Those who really want to apply probably already know, if because that's the first thing you should do. If you want to apply for a scholarship, you'll be interested in how much is it, like how much you will get.
Yeah.
So the ESOP scholarship is worth 12,000 francs per semester, and you have a maximum of 4 semesters. So we are talking about 48,000 francs, depending on your course. Though I'm doing 120 credit, so that is 4 semesters. If you are doing 90 credit, if your course is doing 90 credit, that will be 3 semesters. But every semester you get 12,000 um, Swiss francs, which is more than $12,000 anyways.
Wow. Wow.
And if we take the 48,000 Swiss francs for your entire studies, that's about 2,000 a month, which is more than $2,000 a month. Now, apart from that, the other benefit is that you get, they assign you to someone to be your mentor, who kind of takes you through everything in your entire life at ETH, and mostly a professor. I
Wow.
won't mention my professor's name. Yeah, mostly a professor. So he
Right.
takes you. I mean, if you have problems with your accommodation, I mean, anything, they have someone who is there to mentor you and guide you through everything. So they have the mentorship part of the scholarship. Then the money, I've already mentioned that. The other one is that you have this usual excursions to places where it is paid by the scholarship people. So you go and have exchanges with friends and go to a lot of places and socialize. And that is the third benefit. Now, the fourth benefit and the most important benefit is the pride of being called an ESOP scholar, an excellent scholar. Because once you have that, I mean, other opportunities opens up for you. And just to add that the 2,000 um, francs that I talked about, you don't pay tuition. Okay, so that 2,000 is your chop money every month. And ETH, whether you go to class or not, whether you sleep, because I mean, I know you're also studying, so you know it's not like Africa. If you
Yeah.
decide not to come to class, no one will ask you why you don't go to class. Whether you are sleeping or you are going to class, you will still get your 2,000 francs a month. And the good thing is that they don't pay you a month, they pay you lump sum, 12,000 once. So, yeah,
Wow.
so 6 months together, so that you have, if you come and take 12,000 francs in Nigerian naira, that is money for you. So that should be your motivation to apply for it. That should be your motivation to apply for it.
Uh,
And the kind of good thing about ETH, which is also public knowledge, is that you can also become a student assistant. Okay, outside your scholarship. You know, some universities in Alberta, for instance, when I got the funding, I was supposed to be a student assistant. So I will be a student assistant was my tuition is covered and we're giving me a stipend. Now, when you are an ESOP scholar and you are a student assistant, your student assistantship money comes as a different money, right? So, and this ETH is 37 francs per hour. So if you work for 10 hours, 10 hours a week from morning to evening is 8 hours, right? So
Yes.
if you work 2 times a week, we are talking 16. If you take 16 times 37, you already know how much you earn a week. And for a month, if you work
Oh my
two
God.
days a week and a month, that should be enough to cater for other things. And if you are a student assistant, maybe you may not even touch your scholarship money. Yeah. But
Oh,
yeah, Zurich is also costly. That one is very true. Very, very costly than in other country. But at the worst case scenario, your ESOP scholarship should be able to give you a comfortable student life on campus and in Zurich.
oh.
So if you want to apply, don't feel like, well, they say this country is difficult, it's costly. Is that enough to cater for? I'm telling you that it's more than enough. And I actually invite you to apply.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You are making me rethink maybe I should go and apply for ETH Zurich.
Yeah, we welcome you. Maybe
Because
you wouldn't want to go back to do
they
masters, you
explain
know.
this like over $2,000 per month for your stipends, and even if you decide to take up a student assistantship, is a separate thing on its own. Imagine $37 or 37 francs stuff per hour. Oh my God. Anyway, I think you balanced it right, like in the fact that Switzerland is a very expensive country. So you might think you are earning a very big money, but at the end of the day, have a lot of things to spend it on. So yeah, that's a very good one. And I think the part that this part also caught me, like having a professor as a mentor to actually walk you through every process, like every part of your studies. I think that's a very good one that is put in place to actually help you build your career even afterwards, after studying in the university. Yeah, that's a very, very interesting one. And the fact that they also sponsor excursions, help you to build a social life, is a very, very good one. So I think for everyone there out there, maybe you should be thinking of applying for the ETH Zurich scholarship. Thank you so much for the insight. But beyond that, maybe I know you spent like a year or thereabout there. How have that actually shaped your academic career in terms of looking at the structure of the program, looking at the multicultural environment and everything? Is there any language barrier? Because I don't know how it is. It's not an English speaking country. So how has this scholarship helped you to actually balance your academic and social life, everything all at a go?
Yeah, so um, ETH or Zurich in particular is kind of a multicultural city or a cosmopolitan city. We have people from all walks of life, from all over the globe. So if you go to the countryside, that is where you struggle. But if you are in Zurich as a student, um, yeah, they speak Swiss German, which is very difficult to learn. I've tried all my best to learn it. It's not, yeah. But you speak English. The master's program are taught in English, and almost all your colleagues who do masters understand English. And the lecturers are more than friendly and welcoming. What I have noticed is that at each age, there is this kind of um, a collaborative problem solving approach to teaching. So it's not like, so if you're in class, for instance, it's not like one way conversation, but it's kind of you are teaching. If you, it's kind of you and the lecturer you are sharing, you are trying to solve one problem. So they are very friendly and yeah. And the course I'm doing is kind of linked to what I did at my bachelor, so I'm really enjoying it.
All right. So I think that's a very good one to know that is a more of a multicultural university. I've always wanted to join the ETH. I think I applied there for PhD opportunities, and interestingly, I didn't get. Well, yeah, good to know that there are a lot of opportunities out there in ETH Zurich, especially for international students. So I think my speaker is just trying to reset at the moment. But guys, I know you've been enjoying every part of this session so far, so good, and you've been able to take on something from this session. While we are waiting to have him back on board, I think we are already planning to round up. So you can just drop in the comment section if you have a question for Maxwell that you want him to answer. So maybe you can start putting in the comment section, and we are going to take your question for now. All right. So okay, are you back? Okay, we are trying to. All right, so that's fine. I was trying to just catch up with you there. So, my last question for you, just to close this session, I just wanted to speak directly to someone out there that is following our life events, maybe a student who is dreaming of studying abroad, and maybe this person is doubting their chances. Like, oh, can I actually make it through to a very big university like ETH Zurich on this particular scholarship? So, what will your message be to that person that is saying, "Oh, can I really make it to ETH?" Because we are talking a very, like, this is a very global competitive scholarship out there. So, what will be your advice or words of encouragement to that person?
Yeah, so you realize that when I was talking about the scholarship benefit, I was too sweet about it. The reason I was that is I actually want people to come to ETH because I was the first person after over 2 decades when a Nigerian, the first person to actually won was a Nigerian. She's now a professor at one of the Swiss universities. And
Jesus.
it's almost 2 decades then I came.
20 years.
Yes. So I was so sweet like that to encourage you to apply for it. And trust me, there can be disappointment, but it is part of the game, like I said. You need to be honest with yourself and weigh your options, right? Because it's a bit competitive. It is not, what do we call it? It's merit based. So it's not like they will look at your background and say, okay, you are from developing countries, so let's give it to you or something. They don't do that. But if you have a very good academic record, if you have a first class, okay, I encourage you to apply. You may think there is one thing I always call the God factor.
Mm,
With all these requirements
mm,
that is there,
mm,
very strict, God works in ways that sometimes you don't even understand.
mm,
You may even not even be among the top 10% of your class. And you submit your application and it will go through.
mm,
Because everyone think that, oh, I'm not passed, so they decide not to apply. Then if they're looking for top 10% and people get scared and don't apply, and you are top 50 and you apply, they will take you because you are the only option available. So I will encourage you to weigh your options. It's a bit costly to apply. It's about 150 francs. And because almost all Africa, our currencies are not that good. If you want to convert, that is money. So that is why you need to, and after university, sometimes it's really difficult in terms of finance. So you need to really weigh your options and see if there is that possibility that you are in a good position to succeed. I will encourage you to apply. If you get disappointed, if you are not given the scholarship, don't give up. It's fine. It only encourages you that you become a better person. Because this lady I talked about, I have reviewed her pre-research proposal and I encourage her to submit another application this year, and she's going to do it. If she get it, hallelujah to God. If she doesn't, that is all. She can try again. Because if you don't try, you will never know what will happen.
mm, mm,
So I encourage you to apply. And if you have questions, I'm ready to respond. Specific questions, I'm ready to respond. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Can you please give my speaker a round of applause in the comment section? I think he has done a bit of justice to everything you need to know about ETH Zurich, and he's here to encourage you, like, just go for it. Give it a trial. You never can say, don't reject yourself even before the panel rejects you. So thank you so much. I think I just feel so excited to have you on this session to speak about the ETH Zurich Scholarship. And that's very important. He mentioned something there. He said, remember the God factor. And that's something that is very key when you see me post about scholarship, because you never can tell. You might not even qualify for it, but when God says it's your time and is going to put you on the spotlight for that position, trust me, it's going to come to pass. So just give it your best, everything you know to do, and just talk to God about it to help you secure the scholarship. So thank you for adding that point. That's a very great one. And I think he also mentioned weigh your options, because now you need to pay an application fee of maybe around $150 or thereabouts. So if it's something you can afford or ask somebody to help you with, why not? Just give it a trial. You never can say. So please and please don't relent about your scholarship applications. Rejections is not the end, like you mentioned. So yeah, straight up to our questions and answer session. I have a lot of people that are joining and they are following us. A lot of comments from there. I see Ansho Jacob is joining from Moscow. That's despite the time difference. Thank you so much. He's saying nice to meet us all year. Thank you so much. I think this is your brother, maybe.
Yeah, Emmanuel is my brother. I'm happy you are here.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I don't know, but the surname says something about it. So yeah,
Yeah.
Emmanuel, thank you for supporting your brother and joining us. I think Anna Ambono Peter is also joining. We have a lot
Yeah,
of
that's my brother
Ghanaian.
too.
I brought a lot of people from Ghanaian to this space. That's a good
Yeah, yeah.
one.
I think
And
there are questions that I would
yeah,
want to respond to.
yeah, I'm going to take questions, just trying
Yeah.
to flow along the line. MJ from Germany, thank you, my friend. She's just here to cheer us on. Thank you so much. She's saying that early preparation is very important and peer review can help you greatly. Definitely, I agree with you. Thank you so much. Yahuza is also saying from Nigeria, thank you so much. Now, straight up to the question, Ogechi is the first person to ask a question here from YouTube. He says, I noticed it has mostly science-based courses, and I'm an art student, and I really couldn't find something in humanity in the school. Is it safe to say it's only a science-based university? Or yeah, so let me give that to you. Is it that only science people that can apply to ETH Zurich for the scholarship, especially?
Yeah. So ETH is the Swiss Institute of Technology, and it is noted for science, engineering, and physical sciences, those courses. But there are also humanities. We have, in fact, what I'm doing agriculture economics, which is kind of the social aspect of agriculture.
Yeah.
We have students who study economics. In fact, we have development economics group at ETH. So there are humanities courses. And yeah, on art, art in particular, I can't tell, but yeah, in terms of humanities, there is, especially if you want to do economics.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So what you should know is that the scholarship is not awarded to only science students or something. ETH have the department. If you apply and you meet the criteria, they forward your application to your department, and each department is given the chance to select a student. So if you are from the Department of Music and you apply, the music department select you for the scholarship, they will give it to you. So if you are not doing science, yeah, you can still apply.
All right. So, yeah, thank you so much for clearing that. I think even from my own perspective, from what I've seen so far about ETH, is more of science and technology based. So
Yeah.
maybe there might be limited slots, but you just need to look out to their programs and what they have to offer for you. And if it's not there, you can always look out for other opportunities. So that's just it. John is asking, do they offer undergraduate scholarship?
Yeah, John, that's my brother. They do offer undergraduate scholarship, but not ESOP. ESOP is not meant for undergraduate scholarship. That one is for masters. But there are other scholarship to study at ETH that is for undergraduate studies. But to be honest, in Switzerland, it's very difficult to get in for undergraduate studies. They have very strict immigration issues. Even if it's masters, if you get partial funding, it still becomes difficult to even get a visa. Yeah, so I wouldn't encourage undergraduate. Yeah, if you have external undergraduate scholarship that you apply and you get, and you are coming to study like Erasmus, that one is perfect. But otherwise, no.
Mhm. All right, so that's just it. So I think that's just it generally. Like not only for ETH, getting undergraduate scholarship is a bit difficult as compared to postgraduate one. Abanga is saying, Maxwell, thank you. I have learned a lot from your presentation. Thank you for your insightful presentation, which I really agree to. Colin is also saying thank you for the information well explained. They are asking for the link to the scholarship, and I think that's one of those things we just discussed here. It's
Yeah,
about research. When you put ETH Zurich on Google, that's the first thing that will come out, because I before I met him, I didn't even know there was something. I just Google search it. So I don't know, maybe Maxwell wants to put a link directly, maybe on the group chats on LinkedIn to help people, but we don't have it here currently. But if you put it on Google, I'm sure you are going to get hooked up to the website. So I don't know if you have something to say on that.
yeah. So the first thing to getting the scholarship is knowing where to look for it. So I will encourage that you just search online, Excellence Scholarship ETH. Just type that on Google. The very first thing that will pop up is the link to the scholarship. Then you go and read about it.
Thank you very much. So that's it. We must all be diligent with our search. So if you say you are looking for scholarship, you need to look. So that's just important thing. So for those asking for the link, I think we can um, go online to search for it. Ogechi is asking again, what about second class upper? Can we apply? I don't know if it's strictly for first class.
So now you recall that during my presentation, I only mentioned first class when I was now concluding. When I was talking about the requirements, I talked about being top 10% of your class. Good. If you have a class of 100 students and the best student has second class and you are that student, are you among the top 10% of your class or you are below? So in relative terms, they don't really talk about the class,
Hmm.
like in first class, second class, third class, but they want to compare it with your class.
Hmm.
As in, okay, we have a class of 25 students. How many get first class?
Hmm.
So if you have a class of 100 students and 10 get first class and you get second class, it means at least you are among the 11th going. So of course you are out. But if you have, say, 100 students and two get first class and you get second, I mean, three people get second class, those who got second class are even part of the top 5%. So, like I said, weigh your options. It is not strictly based on your class, but relative to your class. Whereas the first class is about the grading, but yeah, your class as with your colleagues, how you perform among them, then they'll be able to tell whether, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that answers the question. So don't limit yourself. Even if you are third class, you can still give it a trial. So yeah, that's important to know. Like top 10% of your class. Ansho Jacob is asking, in applying for a master's program, must one still search for a professor to recommend him or her, considering this is more of a PhD application process?
No, then I don't know. I didn't explain well, or he didn't get it well. This is not a PhD application process. I know, Blessing, you did PhD application
I wanted to
process,
say that.
and you know that is quite different.
Yeah.
Now, PhD in Switzerland is work. Okay, so it's not like you're applying, then you need funding. No, no, no. If they give you admission for PhD, it's automatic work. You are paid as a PhD student. So that one is a different thing. With masters, you apply like you would have applied for any other school. But in the application process, at the very last end, before you click submit, there will be a box there to ask you, would you want to be considered for the ESOP scholarship? Yes or no? If you say yes, then there is another box that will open for you to upload your pre-research proposal. After uploading it, if you have other supporting documents that you claim you do, maybe you said you were awarded the best student in agriculture 2024 and they gave you a certificate, you can upload it. Maybe you said you ran sports and you won medal and there is a certificate, you can upload it. Any other thing you think is an additional document that can support your application, you can upload it there. Then you submit. So it's not like PhD. So you don't look for a professor at all. You don't look for a professor. In PhD, that is different. But for masters, you don't look for a professor. That's why I even said you don't have to contact them. You can follow them, try to chat, comment on their posts, repost, just to create familiarity, but don't contact them to talk about your application. They take ethics very seriously. If you do that, it's a red flag.
Okay. So I think that's it. So maybe Jacob, you need to know that this ESOP that we are talking about is for masters, like in it's strictly for masters. It doesn't covers PhD. It doesn't cover undergraduate. So we need to make that clear to our audience online. And he's also asking, assuming someone has a certificate other than in English language, will him or her be mandated to translate them to English or in the Zurich language?
Now, the master's program is taught in English. So if your certificate is in German, you don't translate. If it is English, you don't translate. Any other language, you have to translate to English. Yeah.
Okay.
And let me also mention that as part of the admission requirements, you need to submit an English proficiency. I don't want to call it test,
Okay.
but a document to support that you can speak English. So, for instance, and I know most African countries are exempted from submitting this course. So, for instance, I went to the language center in the University of Ghana to request for an English proficiency letter.
Yeah.
If you submit that letter, that is fine.
Okay.
But if your country is not exempted, so if you read, if you go to the admission portal and read, they have listed the countries that they have exempted and where they can submit. If your country is not among them, unfortunately, you have to write the English proficiency test in of them and submit.
Okay. So I think that's very clear. So any other language other than English or German, you need to translate it before submitting. And if you need to write, not write the test, but if you have any letter or something that can support that you studied in English language, you need to also submit that as well. Um, he's also asking another question. Can one apply for, okay, I think we addressed this. So it's not the same thing. So can one apply for both masters and PhD at once? So the
No.
ETH Excellence Scholarship only covers masters and not PhD. So maybe we need to ring that bell once again. I don't know.
Yes. So masters and PhD are different and altogether. If you are giving the ESOP scholarship to study masters, there's not a guarantee that you be given a PhD position. Like I mentioned, PhD position in Switzerland is equivalent to work. So when you're a PhD student, you have two benefits. When it favors students, you become a student, they enjoy. When it favors workers, you become a worker and enjoy. So that is it. So PhD and masters is totally different, and you can't apply to them at once. You apply for masters. When you are done with your masters, then you apply for PhD. That is if you want to do. But if you already have a master's degree, okay, in Ghana, and you or in Nigeria or wherever in Africa or in the world, and you want to do PhD, you can apply for PhD and maybe at the same time apply for masters and see which one they give you. Then it means you need to have two applications. But I'm not even sure it will work because you have one account. Because if you want to do the application, you open an account where you do the application, and you cannot use the same account to apply for two positions at once. So it is a no.
Mm. So I think that's very clear. And just to make everybody know that this is more about, I'm sure there are other scholarship that ETH offers maybe to their students, but the one we are covering basically right now for this session is more of the um, Excellence Scholarship, which is a fully funded one for international students and is only for the master's program. Maybe I should even ask, are there other scholarship that student can also apply to apart from this Excellence Scholarship to study in ETH Zurich that is maybe university based? Do you get my question there, Maxwell? Hello, Maxwell. All right, so I think I lost him there. Um, can are you back?
Come back.
All right. So I was just curious to know, like, is there any other scholarship that somebody can apply to that is also fully funded, like the Excellence Scholarship in ETH? Maybe just to study in ETH. Are there any other scholarships?
Yeah, external scholarships are there, and the Erasmus Mundus. I'm sure you held that series last week or so,
Like
or
that
you
was
are yet to do it.
no, that we've done it. That was the first series, I think, last month that we did it
Yes,
last month.
and we have students with that scholarship who study here.
Okay.
I also mentioned earlier about the Swiss Government Excellence Scholarship. That one is for PhD. So if you have that one, you can also use to come and study at ETH. Then specific to ETH, apart from the Excellence Scholarship, there are also exchanges, but sometimes it depends on your university. For instance, Access University have this exchange with ETH, where their students come to study for 6 months and go back. That is a very good way. And I will encourage you to follow ETH4D, ETH for development. They specifically focus on developing countries, and they post almost all the time opportunities for Africans to come here and do maybe a short stay or something. So if you don't even want to do masters, but you want to do a summer course, okay, you have the opportunity to come and study for a week or 2 weeks, and you are paid for that. And yeah, so ETH for the years that, and if there is any scholarship that uh, you can get to study at ETH, mostly is shared by ETH for the, especially for students from developing countries. So I highly encourage you to follow them on social media and stay updated.
Okay. Okay. So I think that's it. Okay, the last question, because I want us to round up very soon. And the last question is, are you allowed to stay back in Zurich after the scholarship? I don't know if they have like a set share visa or postgrad. I don't know. What's it like?
So disclaimer, I'm not an immigration expert. And when you are applying for your visa, even after getting the scholarship, you have to write a written declaration that you return to your country after your studies,
Hmm.
which is very fine because you are coming for studies. So if you are done with your studies, there shouldn't be a reason to stay. And that is why, as scholars and aspiring scholars, we should do what we can do to make home good so that we shouldn't think of, well, when I leave, I don't want to go back. But to answer your question, when you finish, I think there is 1 year permit they can give you, they call it job search or something. Then after that, if you find a job, your employer applies for the permit for you and you stay. If you don't find a job and you want to renew your permit, you have to have a reason why you want to renew your permit. It's either you're a student or you're working or you're a citizen. So if you're not a student and you're not also working, you're not a citizen, then why should you be in Switzerland? So you have to go home. So that is the little I know. But like I said earlier, I'm not an immigration expert. So yeah. But don't even be thinking of if you can, you will not go back. It's not a good way to think. We need to go back and build home.
All right, that was a very, very good point there. Thank you so much for putting making emphasis on that. So just to let you know, is either you have something that is going to make you stay back, or better still, you need to go back home to actually implement everything you've learned from the university to make Africa better wherever you are coming from. So thank you every one of us for joining this session this evening. I'm very sure we've learned a lot of things. Like, to be honest, I didn't know ETH Zurich was this value pack. Like, just imagine the financial aspect first. Having your 6 month stipend all at a go. It's so much of a thing. I don't know. Do they also cover for visa, your flight, health insurance, and the whole thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
Oh,
uh, the scholarship doesn't cover for that. But that you don't pay for visa when you apply. It's free. Visa is free. Now, when you get here and they pay you the money, finish, then you use part to pay for the visa. Ghana, for instance, the visa was 90 francs. So if you arrive as a scholar and they give you 12,000 and you use 90 to pay for visa, I don't think it is something too much.
okay, okay.
But just to add that I was so sweet about the benefits to encourage you to come, but also consider that Zurich is the most expensive city on earth. You can Google it. Yeah, so lower your expectations a bit, but at the worst case scenario, you should be able to live a comfortable student life under the scholarship.
All right. So, yeah, that is it. Maxwell already walked us through the process for ETH Zurich Scholarship. And guys, I believe you have everything, every information you need to actually make your ETH scholarship a very successful one this time around. And I would just advise you, go to the scholarship website, you get more details, more information about it, and give it your all. It's just a 1 month thing. You can just give it your shot and see how it turns out to be. But it's really our desire, just like Maxwell said, is looking forward to welcome each and every one of you on board next year. Just imagine, for the past 20 years in ETH Zurich, Maxwell, I think I should be celebrating you. You actually broke a record there. Like, there was no African student for over 20 years that got this scholarship. Because I was like, I was trying to get someone. I was like, it should not be this difficult to have someone from ETH. And I was just looking, searching, and everything. I had to go to the website, and truly, is the only black person on the website. When you go to the website of the past recipients that I was able to get from the past awardees, and just that tells you that there's room for more. If you people can give it a chance, give it a try. If Maxwell can make it, I bet it's with you. So many people out of like watching now, you can also make it down to this ETH Zurich, and you can make it. The only thing that I think is the big thing in your application now is your research proposal. Every other thing you are used to writing recommendation letter, CVs, and personal statement. But the one that you need to focus more is the research proposal, and I can bet it with you. This time next year, I just want to be seeing news flying around. Oh, from this session, I was able to gain clarity about this scholarship, and congratulations, I've been awarded this scholarship. So I want you guys to give it your all, give it your shot, and just trust God that is going to make it possible. Like he said, the God factor, it also plays a big role. And As we wrap up, I want you all to just give it out to our speaker. Thank you, Maxwell. I think you did a big justice to every questions that people might be looking forward to get answered about the scholarship application process. You did a lot of justice about what it takes to apply and also the benefit that comes from applying for this scholarship. Thank you for your time, your attention. I know I had to reach out to him. We tried to set up the technical stuff and everything. It's been a lot of work behind the scene. I really appreciate it. I think you are 1 hour difference from my time zone right now. And to everyone that has joined us this evening, once again, thank you so much for taking out your time to be part of this discussion. I know some of us you join every 2 weeks because this is a bi-weekly series. Some of you were there for MasterCard, the Swedish, the DAT scholarship, and the Erasmus one. Thank you for taking out your time. And in 2 weeks' time again, I promise you are bringing two hot speakers for the Commonwealth scholarship. And I know you don't want to miss out on the next scholarship series. So come in 2 weeks' time, this same time, we are going to be hosting the Commonwealth scholarship in the UK. And I'm sure you want to look forward to that. You want to get the necessary information, the necessary tips, and everything that you need to also make your Commonwealth scholarship stand out. So, till that, I think I want to wish every one of you a wonderful evening. You can help us post maybe on LinkedIn or YouTube the things that you gain from this session. You can make a post about it that, oh, because so many people are not aware about this ETH Zurich, to be honest. That's just the truth. So you can tag me, tag Maxwell. You can also reach out. I'm so happy to take any other questions outside this how do I call it, outside this session. Um I think Manuel is saying thank you both for this presentation, and especially Maxwell. I think your brother is very proud of you. Thank you so much for making African proud in ETH. Thank you both for this insightful conversation and transferability of knowledge. I wish you best in your respective endeavors. Who else? Okay, Obiashima Emmanuel is saying thank you. Yes, thank you, everyone. And before we just call it a wrap this evening, we started with a short prayer, and I'll also like to wrap up with a very short closing prayer. Our Father and our God, we thank you this evening. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to learn from our erudite scholar. Thank you because he has been the one that you have used as a voice to let us see the opportunity in Switzerland. Father, oh Lord, from this information, from this wisdom that has been dispensed this evening, we pray that people will be able to take advantage of it to use it in navigating their scholarship application process. And at the end of it, Lord God, you crown their efforts with favor and you crown their application with success in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Father, because you've heard and answered. For in Jesus' mighty name of prayed. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys, thank you so much. And till we'll come your way again in 2 weeks' time. See you and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.